Hello, my name is Chloe. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you my full unread TBR. So I'm hopping in visually at the start of the video to talk you through the books in my overspill, i.e. books that I've hidden under my sofa. That are on my physical TBR. There are some red books under there, but I'm going to talk you through those, and then I'm going to go to my TBR cart and talk you through the unread ones there, and then come up to my big shelves. So strap in. We've got about 400 books to get through. Okay, in the overspill we have The Vacation by John Mars, Teach Me by Olivia Dade, The Anti-Virginity Pact by Katie Weismer, The Mind Theories by S.T. Abbey, Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak, Guild, Glint, and Gleam by Raven Kennedy, Untamed by PC and Kristen Cast, Wet Hot Allosaurus Summer by Lola Faust, Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue, The Regrets by Amy Bonifons, Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, Five Survive by Holly Jackson, The No-Show by Beth O'Leary, A History of Wild Places by Shay Earnshaw, and The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. Okay, so I'm over at my TBR cart, trolley, whatever, we'll move the face wash, and I'm actually filming this on the 31st of December, so a lot of the books, particularly in the top section, are likely to change because that is my January TBR. So all of the unread books on here, I think it's going to be 98% of the ones on here. So let's see what we've got. What Lies Between Us by John Mars, Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer, The Twyford Code by Janice Hallett, The Five by Hallie Rubenhold, The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones, Mindhunter by John Douglas and Mark Olshaker, Salt and Sugar by Rebecca Carvalho, My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing, The Female of the Species by Mindy McGuinness, Neon Gods by Katie Robert, Fierce Fragile Hearts by Sarah Bernard, City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare, City of Heavenly Fire, and Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Words in Deep Blue by Kath Crowley, Emmy and Oliver by Robin Benway, Girls in Love by Jacqueline Wilson, The Boy Most Likely To by Huntley Fitzpatrick, Take a Hint Danny Brown, and Act Your Age Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert, Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, and If I Disappear by Eliza Jane Brazier. And moving down a level, these are again primarily unread books, and they're often just hardback books that I couldn't fit on my main shelves. Starting with Verona Comics by Jennifer Duggan, Leech by Hiran Enns, Stalked by the Kraken by Lillian Lark, The Princess Trap by Talia Hibbert, The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell, Run Rose Run by Dolly Parton and James Patterson. I would absolutely butcher this one, so this is Magma. The First to Die at the End by Adam Silvera, The Other Side of Lost by Jessie Kirby, Virtually Yours by Savenez Tash, Something in Between by Melissa De La Cruz, The Last to Let Go by Amber Smith, and Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma. There is no good angle for this one, so this is what we'll go with. We have The Ritual by Chantal Tessier, Be With Me by Jennifer Al Armentrout, Happy Endings by Thien Kim Lam, Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan, Words on Bathroom Walls by Julia Walton, Thicker Than Water by Bridget Kemmerer, My Grandmother Sends Her Regards and Apologies by Frederick Backman, Dear Mrs. Bird by AJ Pierce. I'm going to butcher this one as well. This is really bad of me, but Clara and the Sun, Girls in Tears by Jacqueline Wilson, Careless by Kirsty Capes, A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman, Hooked by Emily McIntyre, Fred and Rose by Howard Sounds, Sex Life by B.B. Easton, Inside the Mind of Jeffrey Dahmer by Christopher Berry D, Midnight in Chernobyl by Adam Higginbotham, The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, How to Kidnap the Rich by Raoul Rayner, The Phantom Prince by Elizabeth Kendall, I'm a Therapist and My Patient is Going to Be the Next School Shooter by Dr. Harper, Capone's Cornfields by Dan Cherney, American Predator by Maureen Callahan, Heartbones by Colleen Hoover, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, and in the background we had Immune by Philip Detmer. I think this is going to be the best angle I can get of this shelf, and I do have a few books that sit just above it, so I'm going to bring those down first. We have House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski, Gotham High by Melissa De La Cruz, and Sheets by Brenna Thumler. And then on filming that I realised we weren't looking at my top shelf, so let's just make us look at my top shelf first. This isn't perfect, but you do not know how long it took me to balance the camera and how scared I am that this is going to collapse. So we're going to do this shelf pretty quickly. Starting with Hook, Line and Sinker by Tessa Bailey, The Marriage Game by Sarah Desai, Come Back to Me by Mila Gray, The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon, Open Road Summer by Emery Lord, Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, Reminders of Him, Layla, and Regretting You by Colleen Hoover, Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker, The Beast by Katie Robert, and The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert, King of Battle and Blood, and A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, Deceived by the Gargoyles by Lillian Lark, Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa, Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Barbarian Lover, and Barbarian Mine by Ruby Dixon. I should have also explained, which I haven't done yet, that these shelves are mostly organised by genre. So that first one was adult romances getting into paranormal romances. This one is adult romances sticking to just romance, just contemporary romance. We have A Pirate's Love by Joanna Lindsay, His Kind of Perfection by Pamela Heron, this one does not want to stay, Losing Hope by Colleen Hoover, A Pound of Flesh by Sophie Jackson, Make Up, Break Up by Lily Manon, Love Locked Down by Beth Reckles, Good Girl Complex by Al Kennedy, The Duke and I by Julia Quinn, The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, Looking for Fireworks by Holly Cavendish, The Fine Print, and Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne, Twisted Love by Anna Huang, My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey, Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, The Shelf by Helly Acton, The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas, The Love Square by Laura Jane Williams, You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle, The Life We Almost Had by Amelia Henley, The Heart Principle by Helen Huang, The Visa by Lizzie O'Hagan, The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary, Diver's Heart by K.A. Knight, Float Plan by Trish Dollar, The X-Hex by Erin Sterling, The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren, Beach Read, and You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry, Inner Holidays by Christina Lauren, Without Merit, Confess, November 9, Hopeless, Maybe Someday, Slammed, and It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. Okay, moving down into YA contemporaries. Mainly, Valley Girls by Sarah Nicole Lemon, Take Me Home Tonight by Morgan Matson, Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson, A Taxonomy of Love by Rachel Allen, You'll Miss Me When I'm Gone by Rachel Lynn Solomon, Hungry Hearts by Elise Chapman and Carolyn Tung Richmond, The Unexpected Everything, Second Chance Summer, and Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson, The Million Pieces of Nina Gill by Emma Smith Barton, Monsters by Emerald Fennell, Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead by Emily Austin, The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox, Something Certain Maybe by Sarah Bernard, The Start of Me and You by Emery Lord, Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia, The Princess and the Fangirl, and Bookish and the Beast by Ashley Poston, Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone, Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert, and Unclaimed Baggage by Jen Dole. This one is predominantly more YA contemporary, but there may be some outliers. Only Mostly Devastated, and Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez, If This Gets Out by Sophie Gonzalez and Cale Dietrich, Nick and Charlie, and Solitaire by Alice Oseman, Home by Mark Ballabon, It's My Life by Stacey Ramey, If I'm Being Honest by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegmund Broker, The Babysitter's Coven by Kate Williams, When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandia Menon, The Lucky List by Rachel Lippincott, When We Collided by Emery Lord, Meat Market by Juno Dawson, Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl by Joya Goffney, Unpregnant by Jenny Hendricks and Ted Kaplan, When You Were Mine by Rebecca Searle, You've Reached Sam by Justin Tao, A Faux Love Story by Lone Lee, Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow, One Last Time by Beth Reckles, Challenger Deep by Neil Schusterman, The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed, All This Time by Mickey Daughtry and Rachel Lippincott, and Breathless by Jennifer Niven. And one last shelf for the day because the lighting is really starting to fail me. Sorry if any of it's been poor so far. I am not doing it again. This is a mix of YA and adult thrillers, mostly, but there are some different things that have ended up here. We have Killjoy by Holly Jackson, Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier, Leave the World Behind by Ruman Alam, The Girls I've Been by Tess Sharp, Survive the Night, Lock Every Door, and Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, Night Road by Kristen Hanna, Influence by Sarah Shepherd and Lilia Buckingham, The Prank by Alvie Matthews, The The Return by Rachel Harrison, Haven't They Grown by Sophie Hannah, Friend Request by Laura Marshall, The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osman, Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll, Lock the Doors by Vincent Ralph, As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson, 13 Minutes by Sarah Pinborough, One of Us is Next, Two Can Keep a Secret, The Cousins, You'll Be the Death of Me, and Nothing More to Tell, all by Karen M. McManus, A Game of Life or Death by Trina Campbell, Play Dead by Harlan Coben, If You Dare by A.R. Torr, The Possible by Tara Altebrando, The Book of Living Secrets by Madeline Rue, The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson, A Worthy Opponent, The Sea Witch, and Queen Takes Rose by Katie Robert, This Is Not a Ghost Story by Andrea Portes, Rewind by Catherine Ryan Howard, The Serial Killer's Wife by Alice Hunter, The Night Swim by Megan Goldin, The Last House on Needler Street by Katrina Ward, The Club by Ellery Lloyd, The Jigsaw Man by Nadine Matheson, and The Family by Louise Jensen. This is a little bit of a mismatched shelf. It is mostly my Morganville Vampire series and some dark academia and some kind of fantasy and some historical fiction plus some contemporary. I don't really know. It's stuff. We have The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys, Ace of Spades by Farida Abike Imede, The Furies by Katie Lowe, The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Adier, Youngblood by Sasha Lawrence, All's Well by Mona Awad, Midnight Bites by Rachel Kane, and Hex Life, which is a short story compilation. This next shelf down is probably an even stranger mix. We have middle grade, we have quite a lot of Jacqueline Wilson, we have some classics, and we have historical fiction. We have Ginger Snaps by Kathy Cassidy. The name of this book is Secret by Pseudonymous Bosch. Front Desk by Kelly Yang. Rainbow Grey by Laura Ellen Anderson. When Life Gives You Mangoes by Karen Gettin. The Battle for Perfect by Helena Duggan. Show Us Who You Are by Al McNichol. Before I get onto them, the Jacqueline Wilsons, a lot of them I have read before and I'm going to be rereading them, but I read them when I was between the ages of 10 and 13. Some of them I have never read, so for argument's sake, all of the ones that I'm saying are unread, could be rereads from a long time ago, or they could be never read before. Candy Floss, Lily Alone, Lola Rose, The Longest Whale Song, Little Darlings, Kiss, Love Lessons, and Baby Love, all by Jacqueline Wilson. Another reread from childhood, so I'm counting it on my TBR, is I'd Tell You I Love You But Then I'd Have to Kill You by Ali Carter, Goodnight Mr. Tom by Michelle Magorian, Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, Three Sisters by Heather Morris, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, and Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I don't know why this shelf is quite so dark, but let's just work with it. Here we have my Kindle, which has a completely unknown number of unread books on. Maybe I'll update that video one day. Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney, The Lock-In by Phoebe Luckhurst, Chasing Lucky by Jen Bennett, The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Gu, XOXO by Axie O, Heroine by Mindy McGuinness, By Your Side, and The Fill-In Boyfriend by Casey West, Adults by Emma Jane Unsworth, Girls Under Pressure and Girls Out Late by Jacqueline Wilson, Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joya Goffney, Wonderland by Juno Dawson, and Before by Anna Todd. I think this shelf might be my favourite just for things that I would never normally read because it's my horror shelf and I'm slowly discovering myself in this genre. We have Night Chills by Dean Koontz, The Mary Shelley Club by Goldie Modafsky, Out Behind the Barn by John Bowden and Chad Luchek, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, Near the Bone by Christina Henry, Mina and the Undead by Amy McCaw, Lake's Edge by Lyndall Clipstone, Rules for Vanishing by Kate Alice Marshall, My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones, All These Bodies by Kendara Blake, Say Her Name by Juno Dawson, The Twisted Ones by T. Kingfisher, We Played with Fire by Catherine Barter, The Woods Are Always Watching by Stephanie Perkins, Alice by Christina Henry, Camp Slaughter by Sergio Gomez, The House by Christina Lauren, Fear Street, The Beginning by R.L. Stein, The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum, The Haunting of Ashburn House by Darcy Coates, The Roses of May by Dot Hutchison, The Merciless 2 and The Merciless 3 by Danielle Vega, Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesar, Whisper Down the Lane by Clay McLeod Chapman, We Sold Our Souls, and The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, and 13 Stories by Jonathan Sims. This shelf started out life as hardback thrillers, but then became whatever it needed to be. So let's talk you through the unread ones. We have The Initial Insult by Mindy McGuinness, Merciless 4 by Danielle Vega, Dead Girls Don't Lie by Jennifer Shaw Wolfe, People Like Her by Ellery Lloyd, The Murder of Graham Catton by Katie Lowe, Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney, The Family Game by Catherine Steadman, The Butcher and the Wren by Elena Urquhart, Hyde by Kirsten White, The Mars Room by Rachel Kushner, For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing, An Unwanted Guest, and Not a Happy Family by Shari Lapina, After the Silence by Louise O'Neill, The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce, The Burning Girls by CJ Tudor, One by One by Ruth Ware, Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer. This shelf is very weird. This is my I'm not sure where else to put it shelf. Always makes me happy. I think this shelf does make me the most happy out of all of my shelves. So let's go through what's on here that I haven't read. We have Fever Dream by Samantha Schweblin, We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong, His Bloody Project by Graham McRae Burnett, Middle Game by Seanan Maguire, Triflers Need Not Apply by Camilla Bruce, A Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simone, The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas, Mexican Gothic and Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, Comfort Me with Apples by Catherine M. Valenti, Tell Me Lies by Carola Lovering, Hashtag Murder Trending by Gretchen McNeil, The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid, Ape House by Sarah Gruen, Anxious People by Frederick Buckman, Bunny by Mona Awad, Sweet Sorrow by David Nichols, Convenience Store Woman, and Earthlings by Sakaya Murata, Nina Is Not Okay by Shapi Korsandi, Yoke by Mary H.K. Choi, The Truants by Kate Weinberg, and Exciting Times by Nisha Dolan. This shelf is kind of a mix of dystopian and fantasy, so I would like to think I've read a few of these, but we will soon see. We have All That's Left in the World by Eric J. Brown, The Grace Year by Kim Liggett, Every Line of You by Naomi Gibson. The next three I have read at some point in my childhood, but I'm counting them as unread because I genuinely can't remember anything about them and they are part of my TBR. We have Marked, Betrayed and Chosen by PC and Kristen Cast, Bloodlines by Rochelle Mead, Only Ever Yours by Louise O'Neill, Forging Silver into Stars by Bridget Kemmerer, Angel Fever by L.A. Weatherly, When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill, Last Ones Left Alive by Sarah Davis Goff, Girls with Razor Hearts, and Girls with Rebel Souls by Suzanne Young, Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, The Toll by Neil Schusterman, and 4 by Veronica Roth. Then, as a non-fantasy reader, here is my first full fantasy shelf. We have Sword Art Online Aincrad Volume 2 and Fairy Dance Volume 3 by Reiki Kawahara, The Lady Rogue by Jen Bennett, These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan, The Modern Fairy Tales by Holly Black, which is a bind-up of Tithe, Valiant and Ironside, Horrid by Katrina Leno, The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd-Jones, Daughter of the Siren Queen by Trisha Levenseller, Extasia by Claire Legrand, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, Defend the Dawn by Bridget Kemmerer, Stealing Phoenix by Joss Sterling, Gilded by Marissa Meyer, Unraveller by Frances Harding, The Poppy War by R.F. Kwong, The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, Finale by Stephanie Garber, Princess of Souls by Alexandra Christo, The Assassin's Blade, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash, all by Sarah J. Maas. This shelf is predominantly for 2 authors, but I will still take you through what I haven't read. We have Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson, Court and Charm by Tracy Wolfe, Ghost of the Shadow Market, Chain of Iron, Chain of Gold, Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, Queen of Air and Darkness, The Red Scrolls of Magic, and The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare. And last but by no means least, The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow, These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson, Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff, The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller, Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim, Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerry Maniscalco, Once Upon a Broken Heart, and The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, To Best the Boys by Mary Webber, House of Earth and Blood, House of Sky and Breath, and A Court of Silver Flames, all by Sarah J. Maas. So there you go, I have talked you through all of the unread books on my TBR. That is all maybe 401-ish of them. I was going to edit and put a number up by each one, but that would take me years, so we're not going to do that. But if you did see a book in this video that you think I have to read immediately this second, then please do let me know, because I will be using that in one of my TBR challenges. So I'm gonna have a prompt in my TBR Llama Larry. What I'm gonna do is when I pull that one out, it will say like physical TBR comments. I will randomly generate a comment from the description and I will read the books/book in that comment. So if there are any I need to read right this second, please leave them in the comments below. That being said, I'm gonna go now because this video is gonna take me long enough to edit. It's already taken me long enough to film. So that's enough of me. I hope you enjoyed and I will see you in my next video. Bye.